We are live and direct from Angel Fire in New Mexico. FEB Channel, good to see you guys. This is going to be absolutely fantastic, epic. Beyond belief, I'm here with Archaix, Jason. Excuse me.
How you doing,
Jason
guys? How are you doing?
Yeah, we're having a fantastic time here in so high up. We're actually like, this is the highest up I've ever been. It's like 7,000 feet. Is that right?
I think it's higher.
Higher. And so like, even if you take 10 steps, you're out of breath. It's really, really high up and you get short of breath. There's not much air up here. But the air is crystal clear. So we're up here in this cabin, having a hangout, and we're getting some brain cells working in this higher elevation. Because being in a higher elevation, I think, is a key to a lot of things. We're going to talk about that in this post, aren't we, Jason?
100%.
Yeah. Definitely a brain power, okay? Or Brian power, as I like to call it. So thanks, everyone in chat. Make sure to share this out. So I see that Campbell, who is autodidactic, you probably all know him in the community. If you haven't, then you've probably been on the moon with the Indians, okay? Who have just landed on it. But first, we're going to start. This is epic, actually. So, Jason, would you like to tell us who gave you a massive shout in their latest book? This is like...
Well, about 2 years ago, I told you guys in a presentation, it wasn't even the subject matter, but I had mentioned that in the mid-90s, I came across a book that kind of woke me up, and I was Southern Baptist, puritanical. I told you guys my life, you already know. And it shocked me awake. It was Children of the Matrix by David Icke. And I put the book aside, forgot about it, didn't really care, but it planted a seed, and I started becoming more open to that type of material. Yeah, you're going to need to turn that off. But I became more open to that type of material, and it really shocked me awake. It's what I needed. It was a good pattern break intellectually, and it's really good to know that I've gotten a lot of shout outs by people, but David Icke, in one paragraph, very succinctly gave me 4 compliments, and he cited one of my published books. He actually treated me as a colleague. He separated me from all those other people who are promoting simulation theory, simulation hypothesis, and he actually demonstrated that what I brought to the community was something different. It was simulation theory from the context of historical perspectives, documenting mathematical relationships that are too perfect, that can't be real in a Newtonian universe. So David Icke gave me a shout out in his new book, Chapter 4. I was pretty excited about it, man. That's what just recently happened.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a good sign. Good sign for him. Yeah, he's on a different thing altogether now, isn't he?
Yeah, man.
It looks like he's catching up eventually. Catching up. He's watching Jason. So yeah, so that was really fantastic. And we got some big meets coming up. Now we are in New Mexico at the moment, and you'll find a link down below in the descriptions box. So we're going to be having a little get together here in New Mexico, aren't we? Is in the near future? Is this the case, Jason?
Oh, we need to talk to the boss about that. Can the boss still step up,
boss?
Come on, boss. Because I don't know the details. I just roll with the punches and do what I'm told.
Saturday.
Oh, you come over here. They can.
He's done.
Listen, guys, I just roll with the punches.
Just use the merchandise. Yeah, she can tell us the juice.
It's Santa Fe, Saturday, 12:30.
Why are you looking at me right there?
Hi. The Roadhouse. I believe it's called the Roadhouse.
Yeah.
But we have the link below.
Yeah, links below. Thanks, Dawn. Epic.
Welcome.
Okay, you know what? Since we already did it in one introduction, and that's Dawn, and everybody in my community knows Dawn, and now your community does. Come on over here, man. Say we got a crowd of people in here right now.
What you guys doing over here, man?
It's Big John.
What's going on over here?
It's Big John.
Well, hello, everyone.
He actually fit in the lens.
Oh my goodness. Willie too.
Hey, Big John, why don't you introduce who's here, man? Invite somebody to come up here.
Well, we have someone that is near and dear to my heart. Probably Martin's too, but that's not important. Cheryl, come over here and say hi to the people.
Shoot, this is a resident musician right here.
Hello, everyone. It's Flat Thumbs and Phoenix is all the way. Here we are.
There you go. True story.
Bring it, pattern.
There's true story. Kestrel. Kestrel that spells just like Kestrel, like the bird.
Not Castro.
Oh, look, she flies.
Kestrel the dictator. Kestrel
Not
Kestrel.
Castro the dictator.
Kestrel is a local who actually comes from New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Kestrel's here. She's joined us. We have this Airbnb, actually a 3-story mansion in a mountain. It's absolutely beautiful here, and she has joined us. Thank you, Kestrel. I see Kestrel flew away. Come on up here.
I'm coming. Yes, the
Come
mic
on,
machine.
Come on, Mike. Oh, you're coming.
That's
Mike
my
machine.
machine.
How you doing, everybody out there?
Yes.
This is Mike. He joined us at our meetups in the past, and it was great that he could come join us at our Airbnb. He's like AKA playing Archaix intelligence and security right now. But
I'm a pretty quiet guy.
Yeah.
But I found out that Martin is actually a lot more funny in person.
yeah,
And
no
taller
doubt.
too.
No doubt.
Taller.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike. We've got one that drove all the way from California. I believe it was Mendocino County. Is that right?
That's right.
All right.
Yeah.
We just had dinner with her, and she's come back here to enjoy a night.
It's Tony.
Hello, everybody. My name's Tony Salz. Tiger Turtle is my handle. That's what you know me from a little bit on comments. And this is a dream come true, sitting here doing a live with these guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Tiger Turtle's been in the comment section in
Yeah.
Archaix a lot.
You know, and Mike,
A
great
lot.
commenter.
Yeah.
Always lovely. I know that.
Yeah.
So yeah, big news anyway. Concerning Campbell, who is autodidactic, which is he's in the chat feed right now, you can see. So we're doing a big meet. This is going to be a fantastic affair, guys. This is one of the biggest events in probably true for history in my eyes, guys, because of who's going to be there. So that is in San Diego on the 21st of October. All of the tickets you can get are in the description box below this video. So that's myself, Jason, okay? And we've asked Campbell, who's autodidactic. No, Campbell he's asked me actually to do a little convention with him in Florida prior to that, a couple of weeks before that. And I've said yes, so we're going to work out the details. So we'll keep you posted on that, all right, when we can talk about that. So that it may be coming soon as well, but Socal is going to be a big one, right? So it's myself, Jason, Max, Egan, Crowhouse, guys. It don't get bigger in truth than that, okay? So that is.
You've named 4 of them so far.
No, I haven't.
Oh, yes, you
Me,
have.
no, that's me and you and Max.
Well,
3.
The first person was Campbell, autodidactic.
Oh, Campbell, yeah, 4. Yeah.
We've invited Campbell to California.
Maths,
Yes, he's coming.
Maths was never my strong point, guys. Geography is my strong point.
Yeah,
Okay?
chronology is mine, and getting things in sequential order is mine as well.
I got this fucking thing.
Okay, we got a 5th one. We got a fifth one coming. You know who he is?
Yeah, Logan from Decode Reality.
That's it. That's
Epic,
5.
Logan,
Oh, we got a 6th one. You know who she is? We got a 6th one.
Yeah, that is our
Danny
Yeah.
of the Unfuckers group, removing the shackles.
Removing the shackles as well. So that's going to be epic. So yeah, we got like a proper, really nice venue as well.
He's still forgetting one. We have Joel of Perceiver, otherwise known as Toltec Shaman. He'll be there with us as well.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
You didn't? You
No,
didn't get the memo?
I didn't get a memo. Where'd you leave the memo?
You gotta talk to the boss about that.
Oh man, I want to check the memo boards more often.
He told me and I forgot.
He sounds funky. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually,
Yes.
I have invited Joel to on my channel twice in the past. I've been on his. It is the only video that I have that broke 100,000 views, and it's already like at 115,000 views. It was Toltec Shaman. I was really surprised that the community resonated with him because I have zero history with entheogens. I don't know anything about psychedelics, and I have freely admitted that this is something I'm just not going to. I don't do anything to alter my
Yeah,
mind.
maybe I can help you out there.
But this man blew me away with some of the things that he has experienced that comport with the things that I have seen in mathematical relationships. So it's pretty interesting that somebody can do mushrooms and then dictate to me the terms of Mandelbrot sets and tell me the relationships between pi and phi and curvature equations through entheogens. That's fascinating to me, but it's not so fascinating that I'm going to do a mushroom to find out what he saw.
You don't need to. It's all about frequency. You don't even need that to mushrooms. You just do that frequency naturally.
So it's Max Egan,
Max Egan.
autodidactic,
Wow.
Martin Liedtke,
Wow.
Danny of the Unfuckers,
Wow.
Toltec Shaman, myself,
Oh man, this is just too epic.
Logan of Decode Your Reality.
Logan.
So we're gonna have a full house. We're gonna have a full house, and I believe ticket sales are $138. If you're upset with the ticket price of $138 to come talk to us, that's okay, because the exact same weekend,
Oh yeah.
Graham Hancock's charging you $868 to go listen to a bunch of BS. So that's all. You can take your pick. You can take your pick. And for those of you offended by the statement, you can remind Mr. Hancock that he has an invitation for a debate anytime Archaix.
And you can let everybody know they have 24 hours to buy at $99 right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I jumped the gun. They're still $100. They jump. It was scheduled for tomorrow.
Right, so it's
Yeah.
They're lucky right now if they
All
want
right.
to.
Now, for those who don't know, the meetup where all of us are going to gather happens to be 200 feet across the street from the Book Tree, my publisher's bookstore. It took a lot to arrange this. The locals got on board. Paul Tice is a longtime member of the community, and when they found out that I'm the last surviving author he represents, then the community kind of came together and made that happen. It's an old theater, but it's worth it, and they made this available to us. So. Yeah, we're gonna have a blast. Martin's gonna be there. You already know we're gonna have a blast.
Yeah, man, I'm already here. So yeah, guys, I've been in America for like 5 days now, but I've done like so much. Ended up traveling all the way to New Mexico on a super trip. I've just like had my mind completely blown by the scenery here. You wouldn't even literally, the word breathtaking is an actual thing. I've just found out, because as soon as you see it, the expanse, it just literally, we had goose pimples, didn't we? Just as we went through this gap.
What's a goose pimple?
Goose pimples on goose pimples is what I had.
I'm just funny.
Yeah. I never knew such things existed, you know, shown on the movies, but you don't, you know, in real life, it doesn't, just nothing gives it justice. It's just like spiritually moves you. So I was like, oh my God, the whole way here. And now it's like thousands of feet up in the mountains. And I literally, for so many firsts for me, guys. Yeah. I'm like virgin in every regard I see.
You met Cheryl here.
Met Cheryl. I've seen the Milky Way for the first time in my life.
Yeah.
And that has billion stars up here, guys. I've never seen anything like it. It's just what? I couldn't believe it. Just the vistas, like the scenery, the mountains, just massive mountains. I seen
You published a video that we
vultures.
took. Didn't you just publish a video that we took of all the mountains of that? We were going through.
It got banned in the UK.
The video did?
Yeah.
That fast today?
Yeah, they blocked it within an hour.
Why is that?
Because we were playing music in it, but I'm allowed to play music, right?
Yeah.
So there was one on there was belonged to, I think it was Warner Brothers or something. So they just like, if you go my channel now, click that, it says blocked in the UK because of that. So
Thank you, Knuckles, for reposting the specs about.
So Dave Knuckles, you're going to be meeting shortly because he's bought a ticket to Socal. Dave Knuckles is my brother. I've been for years. He's awesome. So
Thank you for reposting there all the links for the
yes,
meetup.
Dave, we're going to have a big gang. We're going to have a brilliant time.
I have to say about the stars.
Man.
I recently turned 50 years old. I have never in my life saw what I saw last night.
Oh my God.
It was an emotional experience. I was out there with 2 or 3 people, and I didn't cry, but you know what? I could have. I was staring at the sky, just bewildered by why it took 50 years of my life to see what I saw. I'm on the top of a mountain, pretty close to the top, and I just looked at the sky. I've never seen the sky this way before, ever. To me, it's even more. It's even more evidence to me that I live in a construct, and that what I'm looking at is a vault, and that the scientific experiments that were published in the 1890s by Morley and Gleason and all these things, when they took those, remember I told you about, they took those photographs and they waited 6 months and they triangulated 3 different observers, and they found no parallax, and the scientific community covered this up because the implications would have shocked the world. And what that means is scientists knew in the 1890s when they took pictures from 3 different observatories in South America, in France, and in North America. They triangulated these and they waited 183 days, which means in the narrative that we've been given, 183 days means that we are 187.5 million miles away from where the first pictures were taken. When they took those second pictures and they compared the plates, there was 0 evidence of parallax, and that's impossible. What it meant to the scientists is that the vault is fixed and the stars aren't at distances from each other. We're looking at a light show, a very sophisticated illusion. And last night I was looking at exactly that, because here you can see billions of stars. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I've never seen anything like it. I didn't know anything like. I thought that the Milky Way was just words, you know, the pictures in books. I never thought that actually people could see it. So it's like, wow, lucky me. So we did a post yesterday concerning the moon. Very, very interesting point this, and with the sky as well, because I noticed the sky looks a damn sight closer up here.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
You want me to explain? I had no idea he was putting that on YouTube. He actually walked up on me while I was taking pictures from one of Kestrel's books. Kestrel brought a book from 1902, and it's about the Orphic faith applied in modern terms, and it blew my mind. I'm going to do a video on it. But I was looking at the book when he just walked up to me and threw a camera in my face and started talking to me and asking me questions. So I'm like, man, I don't know what to say here. So I said, hey, man, you want me to tell you something interesting about the moon? And I just took off. And next thing I know, he told me he had 5,000 views and hundreds of comments.
5,500 views, hundreds of comments, everyone's saying, yeah. That makes so much sense.
Okay, I'm going to reiterate real fast because he's already got it on YouTube. So in a nutshell, you know, one of the tenets of my channel is showing that the whole Ice Age hoax is to cover up the vapor canopy period, and that the vapor canopy period actually answers for almost every scientific anomaly, and that all this pseudoscience and constructed skeletons, and they're all unreal. It's all hoax. It's all BS. The vapor canopy is the only thing that's found in the historical record. Ice ages are not. In fact, it's absolutely impossible for glaciers to be fresh water under the Ice Age model. All that fresh water came from the sky when the vapor canopy collapsed. It's not because oceans froze. It's all BS. So glaciers were never salt water. They were fresh water, and it's because the water fell when the day the sky fell was the same day as the Great Flood. It was the day the sun was born. In a perfect illustration, Martin and I saw this with our own eyes. We can go outside tonight and look from the top of a mountain, and the moon looks very effing small. But we can go down to sea level and get in a shrimp boat, and the moon looks gigantic. And there's a reason for this. It's the vapor canopy is about 95% gone. It collapsed, but there's still 5% there. Scientists call it the mesosphere. That mesosphere still has a magnifying quality. And just like any magnifier, the further I am away from the magnifier, the more the magnifier works. This is why the lower I am in altitude, the bigger the moon becomes. The mesosphere is magnifying it. This is why the Native Americans were telling us the truth. At one time, they could reach up and felt like they could touch the stars, and they could hear the stars singing. When the mesosphere collapsed, the vapor canopy, it literally pushed the moon away and the stars away. It's an optical illusion. But this is why from the top of a mountain, we're looking at a tiny ass moon. But I know where I live, just north of Houston, the moon looks way bigger than it does from the top of this mountain. And it's because I'm looking through a lens.
Yeah, really interesting. I think it might work for the whole sky as well, you know, as a reflected, apparent, you know, thing. You know, some let me just elaborate. Some couple of people have just asked what exactly is parallax. Dave's trying to explain, but just briefly, it's we should be able to witness some change in the night sky over time, guys. Yeah, basically, you know, we're supposed to be doing these astronomical speeds of 60,000 miles an hour around the sun, and they're supposed to be doing, you know, this 500,000 miles around the Great Detractor, and if you add it all up, it literally accumulates to like trillions of miles an hour. We're supposed to be doing right now on whatever is supposed to be a spinning ball, and the turning of Earth as well. So we should be able to witness, when we look at the constellations, some shift, but through time, no constellations have shifted. And we're supposed to be doing breakneck speed, yeah? But the sky never changes. That's parallax.
Yeah, parallax parallax isn't happening. That's the problem, but it should, because if we're on a world hurling around a sun at vast distances, then that means every star you see.
They should be streamlining in reality. They should have if this was a reality that we were doing this speeds and we were observing the sky, there would be a white stream of light behind every single star as we were traveling.
Oh yeah. But the answer to the question of parallax is that when photographs are taken, the next series of photographs 6 months later, is actually 187.5 million miles away. Therefore, when you compare the two plates, they should not match. Stars should shift positions. Just like if somebody was 200 feet away and a person was 100 foot standing between them, and I'm 100 foot away, we're in a straight line. I can't see that second person. But as soon as I take one step to the side, I'm going to see partially that third person. If I take 10 steps that way, the second person's not going to be in the way of the third person. That's parallax. But we've never seen it. It's never been documented. Nope. That's a problem. That's a real big problem. That's why they've been quiet about it.
One of many scientific theories that have never been proven.
Right?
Yeah, like apparent spinning of Earth. It's never really been detected at all. Like a tsunami.
Hey man, Rabbit 42 just gave you a gift of $142, man.
Holy shit, really?
Oh, he said gas, so some of that's going in my van, bro.
All right, fair enough. What goes wrong goes wrong. I don't even care.
I'm just teasing. Oh, you know
thanks,
what?
Rabbit, brother.
Oh, you know what?
It's really sweet of you, man. Much love to you. Thanks.
Hey guys, today I got Martin a gift because he's direction. This is for a flat thumbs guy who knows a lot about the world. He's directionally challenged. So I got him this right here so he doesn't get lost in between the UK and Texas anymore. He got a real nice, real heavy Red River, New Mexico compass.
Oh,
so
wow.
he won't get lost.
Oh, really? Oh, thanks, Jason. That's amazing.
Yeah, man. That's while you and Cheryl were back here doing things you weren't supposed to be doing.
Well, what we need to do now,
we were
right?
in town.
Being as you're a chronologist that really can't keep time, we need to get you a timepiece.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, I'm not done with you yet.
Oh, that is awesome.
Martin got stopped at immigration. They stopped him from coming into the U.S.
Yeah,
now, the story he gave us may not be entirely true. I don't know.
No, it was God's honest truth. The machines won't work.
Sometimes people pack things they're not supposed to pack and they get caught. So I've got him this right here. So he's able to put some stuff in here and lock it away so he can travel with it. You know, when he wants to, when he wants to take those little, when he wants to imbibe and get on planes when he's not, right line. That's cool. It's a cool little flask, isn't it?
Yeah, that is awesome, actually. Yeah, I love that. For my stashage. As I go on the move. America loves me, guys. I love America. You gotta love it. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, man.
They're awesome. Okay, I'm really happy.
Oh, he gave me a gift. You know I like books. People give me books for gifts. Listen.
It is Campbell. Really nice.
I think he's been listening to my channel a little too much because he gave me a book. It's an old book, too. I used to read these as a kid. The Zombie Apocalypse.
Yeah, so it's not just a picture on Pinterest. They actually exist.
This is
a real book. From the 1990s.
This is crazy.
It's like they got like plagues. The reason for a zombie apocalypse in page 2.
Hold on, we're gonna go straight to page 36.
Yeah, read it up.
Some say civilization after a zombie apocalypse will go right back to the Stone Age. Here it is. You can't make this shit up. They're teaching our kids some bullshit. Right here. Yeah, I don't want to read no more here. Y'all gonna get frustrated.
Yeah, that's just nuts. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for coming. God, we've got a few people in. They're all piling in. It's 552
people in here. That's 138 times 4. It's a Phoenix number. It's meant to be. Let's get this presentation going.
Wow, that is amazing.
There it is.
So we're going to talk about something really interesting that's been brought up. And the more I think about it, guys, the more I'm like, yeah. And I think there's something really more important tied up in this narrative somewhere. I really feel that there's something here. So it's about mounting gods, or the narrative in the past of races of people that lived up in the mountains that seem to have superpowers, if you like, when they come down. Would you love to elaborate for us, Jason, please?
Well, I can give you some examples.
It would be awesome.
I mean, there's the obvious examples that were later used in very recent antiquity that we know by virtue of our own studies and research, and they're just fictions. But we have Moses coming down from the mountain to give the law. We have a lot of superheroes that come down from mountains and they have this anointing. And when they come down to the sea level, the surface civilizations, They always seem to have these superpowers and extra knowledge and all that. But we also have whole entire belief systems that are based off this exact same model. Do you have any examples?
Well, Jesus went to the top of the mountain, didn't he?
Yes, it did. Mount of Transfiguration.
Yeah, and then you got Martin Luther King. I've been to the top of the mountain, and I've seen the whole. I don't know if they could see the whole world. If they're, if everyone's living on a ball, that would be impossible. But it's the same narrative in the Bible that Jesus seen the whole realm below him.
Did you say Martin Luther King?
In his famous speech, "I have had a dream," that is awesomely famous. He gives everyone goosebumps. In that speech, he said, "I went to the top of the mountain and I seen the whole realm." And I've been thinking about that for years. And it's a similar narrative for when Jesus was tested. He went to the top of the mountain. He came down like, "Okay, I just went through some sort of spiritual thing, and I'm cleansed and I'm good."
Okay, so that kind of leads us into Ezra then, because for those of you who are not aware, the Bible admits that the entire Old Testament was lost, and a priest named Ezra got with a politician named Nehemiah, and their two books were inserted in the middle of the Old Testament to give it more veracity. But the Bible itself admits that every single book of the Bible had been lost for centuries, and the people didn't know who Moses was. So Ezra went up to the top of a mountain, and at the top of the mountain, he received the entire narrative of the Old Testament over, and he brought it down to this politician, and they wrote it together. This is the story of Ezra and Nehemiah. The elements that are very, very condemning about the Old Testament were preserved in the book of First and Second Esdras. There's a lot of this material that's been covered up, but any Catholic Bible verifies all this. Read First and Second Esdras, and you'll read the whole story about how the entire Bible was lost and rewritten by a politician and a priest. They admit every bit of this in these, but these were taken out of the main body of Scripture and put into the Apocrypha. And it's the Catholics that published the Apocrypha. So this was done on a mountain as well. Just like that, the demon that jumped out of a burning bush was on a mountain as well. It talked to Moses. So,
but you brought up about skeleton warriors as well.
Oh yeah, we're about to get into that.
That was amazing.
So, when we go back far enough, we find out that first of all, the pseudepigraphical traditions are very clear. The Book of Enoch and the Book of the Secrets of Enoch tell a story that's very different than the one that's promoted by a lot of Judeo-Christian perspectives. The story, we have a lot of people who have fallen for the ancient aliens narrative, and they try to say that the Watchers come from space, spaceship came down, they taught men civilization, they interbred with normal humans, and they produce mutants and monsters and giants and all that. And this is the Babylonian version of old Sumerian texts that tell a very different story. In the Book of Enoch, the Watchers didn't come from the sky. In the Book of Enoch, they came down from Mount Ardon. They came from a very high altitude. And when they came to a low altitude, the people were astonished that they had so much energy, so much power, so much knowledge, so much prowess. They could do things. And Martin and I were talking the other day, and it dawned on us only because we have been to 8,900 foot elevation just in the last 2 days. And it dawned on us, wow, don't boxers train in alpine regions? Yeah. And didn't Rocky train in Siberia to fight the Russian?
Yeah.
And didn't Mike Tyson come to Colorado and train in the ice in the mountains, and where you can barely breathe and you get all your physical training up here? So once you're so conditioned to that your body can work at optimum on a minimal amount of oxygen, you're going to be a monster when you go to sea level, because people who have been living their entire life at sea level oxygenate at a totally different rate. They're going to have to breathe twice as much to fill their musculature as somebody who is trained in alpine regions. A civilization born and bred in the mountains, when they come into a lower valley civilization, they would be undefeatable. There's no way that they're to defend against that. And alpine civilizations in the past were the ones that produced infrastructures. They're the ones that produced metallurgy. They were the ones that were mining. So we have the same situation over again. We have what he said, the Spartans trained in the mountains too, and they were bad. All the Greeks, even the Macedonians, feared to fight the Lacedaemonians. That's the Spartans. So we have the Watchers. Only 1,000 years after those texts were written were they regarded as gods and angels and all that, but originally they were just people. just like the Anunnaki. That's all Babylonian. The original version is Anuna, and they were just normal humans. We know because we have the statues, the bust, the statuary, we have all that. We know exactly what they look like, and we know how the Sumerians differentiated themselves from them. So we have this common denominator, and it's all river valley civilizations. South America, the Urumbaba, they all say that these great civilization builders came out of the mountains and taught them how to do everything.
Yeah.
We have China, the Yangtze Valley, same thing. They say the Dragon Kings came. What makes them Dragon Kings? Not because they're reptilian, because in China, if you were dragon-faced, it meant you had the ability to wear a beard. And just like the Nile River civilization, in Egypt, the pharaohs knew the builders of their civilization had long beards. So in order to maintain the integrity of their control over the people, Pharaoh had to wear a wooden beard because Egyptians can't grow facial hair. So this same scenario was in the Indus Valley, the River Valley. They had the Mohenjo-Daro, Larak, all these traditions from ancient Pakistan and India. They said that a race of people came out of the mountains and taught them canal works, irrigations, metallurgy, cosmetics. Even in Knossos and Crete, we even have the civilizations appearing and teaching women how to make high heel shoes. All of this is 4,000 years old. So we have the same common denominator. People are coming out of mountainous regions after a reset. They're coming out of mountains and they have technology, they've got infrastructure, they've got medicines, they've got knowledge. And in every single historical incident, when they come into contact with people in these river valleys, the people in the river valleys revere them as gods, not only because of their knowledge and technology, but because of the size of their bodies, their strength and all that. The same thing as what the Greeks, Olympus Mons, the mountain of Olympia.
But it must be spiritual as well, because the Dalai Lamas, the Lamas, not the Dalai Lamas, the Lamas live on the high Tibetan plateau. They're at the highest elevation on earth.
You mentioned the Lamas, but that's Shangri-La. That's the underground civilization. Was it Shambhala?
Yeah.
Oh, that's their traditions. Yeah. But
also have El Dorado, and that's in South America, and that's on the high Andes anyway. There seems to be all these. There's a lot of songs in contemporary music that sort of River Deep, Mountain High. I'm not saying that's one, but I know of a couple. There's one by a band called Gorillaz, and there's literally a narrative about these gods that live in the mountains on the song. On the Gorillaz album, the Demon Days.
She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. That's a mountain song, right?
She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes.
There you go.
Everyone all together.
We need Big John in here because he knows music.
John is really good, yeah.
But he's really good. Yeah, I know he's busy right now. But okay, we got Olympus Mons, we got the Olympian gods. The Olympian gods were like regarded as gods.
Yeah.
But
monkey born magically fertile from a mountain. Monkey of the. Do you know monkey? Monkey Tripitaka calls up a cloud, flies on it. Chinese television. Monkey. Tripitaka.
I have literally been stupefied.
Fucking hell! No, that's a biggie. That's a biggie thing in my childhood. Monkey's one of the biggest things in my life. Yeah.
The only monkeys that I remember my childhood were the flying monkeys in the Wizard of Oz.
No, he's a Chinese god, and he's born magically fertile.
Oh, Hanuman.
Well, in the modern day film, yeah, but it used to be a TV
There's
series.
a monkey god called Hanuman, but that's India, I believe.
Yeah. So yeah, there's him as well. So that's in the Chinese narrative, and he was born of a mountain.
Cat Brennan said Americans didn't see monkey, so it must be a movie that didn't debut here or something. I don't know.
All right, you wouldn't have got the water margin either then.
Oh, John Denver. Yeah, Rocky Mountain High. Smoky Mountain Range keeps on rolling. That's one of my favorite songs.
Oh yeah.
You know I'm a country boy.
Your name.
Yeah.
Falling down the mountain.
So I was going to sing us Neil Young later on the guitar.
Yeah, that's another one too. So, the whole idea that we have is, you have to go back to the writings of Professor Liddell, Samuel Noah Kramer, Maureen Gallery Kovacs, people who can truly translate Sumerian, not Zechariah Sitchin, not Billy Carson, not all these people promoting this ancient aliens BS. You go back to the original Sumerologists, and you're going to find that all the references, all the idioms that are found in the Sumerian cuneiform come from a people who lived in an alpine region. This has been widely published in the 1930s and 40s. It was a mystery because the Sumerians lived in they were a river valley civilization, and yet all their cuneiform texts are packed with vernacular that is only applicable to mining colonies, metallurgical facilities, all kinds of trees, plants, roots, herbs that are only known in mountainous regions. And for those of you who don't know and haven't consulted a map, there isn't a single mountain in Sumer. There are no metals to be mined anywhere in the Sumerian regions. So we're dealing with, like we're talking about, we're dealing with people who have their infrastructure intact, their knowledge intact, they're healthy as hell because they've been at high altitudes for a long time, and they come back down and find these primitive cultures that have no writing. They're living in reed huts. They're living in mud. They're fishing for a living in all these river valley civilizations. The common denominators, they have black hair, black eyes. Their black hair is very straight, and they have olive skin, and they can't grow facial hair. And this is the exact description of the people of South America and the Bamba reed civilizations. The reed civilizations of the Nile, the Melampides of Egypt, the same as the Indus Valley, the same as the Chinese Yangtze Valley, and the same as the Tigris-Euphrates Valley. The Sumerians even prided themselves as the black-headed people. It's the same story the world over. The gods came from mountains, but the more we look at it, they're just people like you and I.
But it makes perfect sense. Absolutely perfect sense. The more I think about it, I think you're definitely onto something there, Jason. Definitely. So, yeah, that's a bit of a mind blow. That I'm going to give. That's a whole new genre in itself, I think, and worth.
Well, I mean, you know, I'm always giving credit where it's due. I'm going to tell you now, this isn't just Jason coming up with this scenario. I am following on the coattails of Professor Liedtke, of Samuel Noah Kramer, of these great minds in the 1880s and 1890s who were putting out this research, but because it totally went against the establishment histories, because it sounds too racial. You gotta understand, guys, when the people of Mohenjo-Daro, the people of ancient Egypt, and the people of South America through Quetzalcoatl and what is it, Votan, Viracocha, listen, the same tradition, all Thor Heyerdahl got really criticized for this, but all he did was document what the Samoans said. That's all he did was document what the people of Micronesia, Melanesia, Polynesia, all Pacifica said, and it was that white-skinned people with gemstone-colored eyes came and built these monuments, taught them medicines, taught them all these things. The story is the same the world over. After a great destruction, white folks literally just came out of the mountains and started helping everybody. This is why all these civilizations regard these original gods as benefactors. Even the Chinese don't denigrate the Dragon Kings. The Chinese look at their ancient past in honor of the Dragon Kings. The dragon is not a negative connotation in Chinese. It is only a negative connotation in the West. So yeah, the story is fascinating, but the more we look at it, the more we find there's a lot of BS being introduced in the truther community now. People just got wild imaginations, just making up stuff that it doesn't comport with what we have in anthropology, archaeology, and history. And I'm not trying to kill anybody's dreams. I'm just trying to get down to the nuts and bolts of things. I want to know the truth, whether it's not fantastic or it is fantastic. I need to know what it is.
That's the way it should be. Intellectual honesty is called, Jason. It's right. It's the only way it should be as well. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. So it's not quite a segue, it's the same subject really, but there's thought, you know, in my camp, I'm a flat earther, as you know, but in my camp we think that in the North Pole there is a huge mountain, a magnetic mountain by the name of Mont Meru, which is also a mountain. And could it be possible that there's a mountain in the North Pole that could have, survive the plasma reset or the flood, high, out of the way, in a completely other continent, Mercator, because he's 33 in gematria, actually, Mercator. So I don't think I'm going with that. So, but he shows a map of a Hyperborean, a land in the middle, or a magnetic mountain, Mount Meru. But there's also narratives, which Jason might want to talk about, for the real location of the biblical Eden, which, funnily enough, we were talking about today, weren't we? You know, the whole narrative for Adam and Eve. You know, they say that they're in an enclosure. You know, how does this actually work? You know, do they have some immunity from wild beasties eating them? You know, are they not on the menu? Are there any wild beasties? And, you know, how does all this go down? You know, do they just one day find themselves sitting in the middle of the fields and think, well, what's this then? You know, what is this stuff? And what are we? You know nothing about their reality. You know, it all seems pretty farcical, the narrative for it. I think it's probably something to do with DNA splicing, you know, Adam and Eve, like magnetic propagation. I think it's along those lines myself. But the location of Eden, you know, I've seen loads of different locations.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a lot of literature especially from the 1800s about the location of Eden. There's so many.
Yeah.
But I will say,
Mesopotamia.
I am a little shocked about a book that I introduced to my own community. I introduced this book to my own community recently, and you guys know that I'm very selective about what I share with the Archaix community. But this book kind of really floored me because of some of the things that the man said in 1974 after researching for about 15, 16 years. And he said that the 4 rivers of hell, Styx, Acheron, Palaemon, whatever, there's 4 rivers in hell according to the Greeks, and that hell was a walled enclosure. And that he says that the 4 rivers in hell, according to the ancient Greeks, hell was never a concept. It wasn't like Judeo-Christianity. Hell was a place where wicked souls went away. That was never the Greek conception, and yet the New Testament was written in Greek. Just like the interpretation of the first seal recently completely abandoned the Judeo-Christian programming, and we just went with what the Greeks knew about the symbols of the white horseman, the bow. You understand? The going forth to conquer. Just going by what the Greeks thought about that, we come across Apollo and pharmaceuticals.
Well, there's also 4 rivers in the Hyperborean. There's a little connection as well.
No.
So one of them is supposed to be the Euphrates, the Tigris, and they're the same rivers that are in Mesopotamia.
Well, this guy claims, and he shows a lot of evidence, and I'll be showing it to my channel, that the 4 rivers of hell are no different than the 4 rivers of Eden, and that paradise was underground. And all the facilities had all the garden realms, had all the animals, had all the peace, had all the security, and that the fall of man was actually some humans being kicked out from the underground where it was safe and forced to endure things like the phoenix and the surface world. And hints of this are in Genesis, where the very first thing we find is that mankind is cursed. And now, after living a blessed life, he's forced to scratch the ground, pull the weeds, and dig into the earth for his sustenance. And it's really interesting because Eden is a Sumerian word. It's not a Hebrew word. Eden means walled enclosure. And in Genesis, the walled enclosure was where all the good food was. Every man wanted to get back in, but a guardian was put forth to prevent man from getting back to the Eden. And according to this guy, the Greeks all had it down. They knew paradise was underground.
Couldn't the walled enclosure be the wall that's enclosing us?
It could be that.
And we're in Eden?
I'm totally not against the deal. I mean, I am absolutely positive that we live in a realm. You guys already know. I've been absolutely honest. I've been absolutely honest. I'm not a flat earther because I think flat earth is a stepping stone to a greater understanding of this earth. We're in a realm. And being a realm, its perimeters are basically forged by the collective experience. What the collective believes to be true is what the construct actually projects. Yes. And when a large population of people begin believing in a whole new paradigm, the holosphere will introduce phenomena that will be perceived by us as commiserating with our new belief. This is what we see through the entire history of the world every time a new thing was introduced into the world. So yeah, I'm on board with the wall deal, but even more so, can I tell you what this dude said about the North Pole?
Go on.
Because I'm wagging my tail, bro.
Yeah, man,
this book blew my mind when he cited how the U.S. military had spent all this time sending all these sorties trying to find a fixed location for the North Pole, and they can't do it. The whole thing you saw on television with them putting a flag on it, it's all BS. There is no way to determine where the North Pole is. All magnetic and computer equipment. It's not just it's not just compasses. All computer
We're
equipment
talking about the
fails.
geographical or the
Everything.
magnetic.
Yeah,
Oh.
150 miles in. And what they found is a 1,000-mile perimeter where all this phenomenon begins taking place. Meaning there's no point that's a pole.
Huh.
It's a 1,000-mile perimeter circle. And in 1895, it's all in this book. In 1895, an expedition went so far north that they come across warm weather, fox trails, deer, and all kinds of mammalian fauna that cannot exist in those extremes. And it blew their minds. They photographed the fox trails. They kept pushing north, and then they started getting hit with hot winds. The ice pack was gone, and they found themselves in the North Pole on dry ground. So one guy, Nielsen, he's in this book in 1895. He writes all these things down. He pushes forward, and it was his information that was used by the U.S. military when they funded the bird expeditions. So remember I told you about the third bird expedition?
Well, apparently when he went down into some sort of North Pole hole and into some underground city, and there was flying ships.
It was and this is all now. None of this is mysterious to me because I'm a simulationist, and I understand that every projection is going to have to be based off some type of mathematical construct. And the only thing I've seen evidence for is that our world is not spherical at all. It's toroidal. It would have to be. It would have to be a toroidal field, and that we're on the inside of a holographic reflection of a real reality. This is why our arithmetic. I've told you guys many times that physicists have come to the conclusion, even as long as 100 years ago, that we are not existing within a real arithmetic. We are existing within the photonegative and anti-arithmetic. And there's a lot of good research from Ishak Bentov and P.D. Ouspensky and Paul LaViolette and subquantum kinetics. These guys have never been refuted, and they can't be refuted because all mathematical analysis shows that we're looking on the photonegative of a real reality. Therefore, we're inside a field, a geometrical field that produces phenomena for us to experience. And by virtue of the central nervous system, we perceive all these things to a limited degree. Martin here only sees about 4.5% of the electromagnetic spectrum. I have almost no audible range compared to a rabbit. You know what I mean? I can't taste hardly anything that a dog can taste. So our sense perceptions are very, very limited to what we're really truly seeing and feeling and tasting and touching. But this toroidal field is obvious only at the far north and the far south, where all the ice packs are. And what the U.S. military found through these expeditions was that there's no North Pole. There is a northern ring where all electronics, magnetics, everything messes up. The temperature gets really hot. There is red and brown dust all over the ice before it becomes ground, and that the world begins folding in at this 1,000 miles. The whole thing is the top of a toroidal field. So what was found at the North Pole, I can only assume, was also known in Antarctica when the bird expedition went down there and they hit that barrier. And they couldn't go any further. So that's all. I don't have any more data than that, other than what this man is sharing in this book from 1974. It's blowing my mind. But I'll share more on my channel.
That is really interesting. I can't believe that.
When I take these notes out, you will be taking this back to Wales with you.
There's a lot of similarities with that, and the narrative for the book, The Smoky God. Have you heard that? Olaf Johnson.
The Shaver Mysteries and the Smoky God.
Yeah, it was Olaf Johnson, a fisherman from Sweden, and his father, and they went north, and then it was like, basically, it was just like they said, as they went past the geographical North Pole, because the magnetic North Pole is supposed to be somewhere going heading towards Russia, apparently. So they say. It started to get warm, like a summer's day in Amsterdam, they said. And then basically they ended up in a land full of really pleasant giants dressed in silks with high, not in that book, but in The Smoky God. It's a fantastic book. I got it. It's one of my favorites ever. It's one of my, I just love to imagine that book. You know
what you need to do for your community?
Yeah.
You need to do a video in the future on the green children of wolf pits.
Oh, do you know what? I talked about green children in my last live post, coincidentally.
This is a real historical
coming
event.
down from the North Pole.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's quinky think.
Yeah, 2 kids appeared in England. They were so bizarre, had green skin. claimed to come from the underground, had a whole kingdom, had everything, and they were lost in England, and other people took them in, and by the time they learned English and how to communicate, they told them of a whole other world that existed somewhere else. They got lost and ended up in England. It's crazy. Had green skins. Yeah, it's called the Green Children of Wolf Pities. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff about that.
But we really don't know what's below us, and I don't think they're going to waste all that space below us. You know, they've dug the deep coal mine, Russia, 8 kilometers or 8 miles, 12 kilometers. For me, that's the dimensions of this place. I think it's 12 kilometers up and 12 kilometers down. I mean, the 12 kilometer down mark is where the inertia plane is, and that's why it's hot. Yeah, some sort of abrasive zone which causes friction, and then eventually the friction builds up, snaps, and that's your plasma discharge event. I think it's along those lines. That's what's happening.
It's I don't know. It's an anomaly. I'm not sold that all the destruction on the resets comes from the North Pole.
This mud, I'm intrigued with.
I'm not sold on that, because if it's true, what Niles, that's what it was, 1895, Niles Bird, U.S. military. If it's true that the top of the world is like a Toroidal field, and that the land starts going down, and they say it's forested and it's lush, and there's animals and all that.
Yeah.
If that's true, then the destruction isn't coming from the North Pole. And this whole plasma apocalypse phenomenon that's being promoted, that the North Pole is the center of destruction, it's just the opposite. It's like 1871, that guy that wrote that book called Cyclical Flood Theory. He says all this destruction comes from the south. And the flood tidal tsunamis always come from the southern hemisphere, and then they wash over. Well, this is what this means. On a flat Earth model, we have the perimeter, this giant 2-mile-high ice wall that we call Antarctica. Yeah. Well, if the guy in 1871, his data is correct, and that every major destruction of the world is because of these 700-foot high tsunamis that come from the southern hemisphere. Remember, he was a globalist. He said every single time.
In the wall.
So what it is, it's coming from the wall. It's coming from the perimeter.
Yeah, because everything is below it, like a lake below it. Yeah, so it's all coming in.
So the safest place in the world would be
high up,
the North Pole.
And the North Pole.
So it's very interesting. For those of you who are on Martin's channel, who have not seen the video on my channel, there's a scientist in 1871 who published a book. And as a matter of fact, Martin was in that video with me on his first trip to the United States.
I remember that.
He was in that video with me, and I forgot about that, but it was posted on my channel, and it was it's very compelling material. This guy put out a tremendous amount of data sets showing that the entire Ice Age narrative is bogus. He did this in 1891, and he showed that all these geological anomalies can easily be explained by the fact that there is and it happens frequently. He says 3,000 to 4,000 years, there is these massive tsunamis generated from the southern hemisphere that go all the way up to about the 57th parallel, and then die out, and the water spread back out. And it's all over in a day or two. In
the equatorial plain region.
Yes. You see, so this is it's very interesting what he says, but it also comports with what we're finding from this book here. It's crazy. And if that's true, then I mean we have a leg to stand on things like when people promoting destructions coming from the North Pole, which seems to be in vogue lately. And I'm not seeing any evidence for that. Destructions and resets are historically verifiable. Anybody can look at the historical record and see that even 2,000 years ago, it was a very popular topic among ancient writers to talk about what causes these great destructions. So yeah, it's intriguing, but I don't think the model of the Earth really matters. I think it's the periodicity of the destruction, the frequency,
which is assured by all accounts. So yeah, there's a lot of narratives though. Like even in the movies, like the Wonder Woman movie and the Skull Island movie, where they show you an island that is cloaked, and they always show you the Northern Lights. So they're letting you know in the Hollywood movie, this thing's north, Yeah, and they're showing you in so many movies just recently as well. Yeah, so I propose, what could the Northern Lights be? Because it's not like ionized solar rays, ionized magnetic field coming in from some fucking cosmic rays. Because I don't think there's space up there; it's water. So I proposed it coming from the North Pole hole. This place that is this toroidal center.
Well, according to Nelson, he couldn't see the source of illumination, but when he was looking down into the bowl, the interior of the earth was illuminated.
Well, yeah, because all it is this green light is magnetized light, like laser light. So that's all it
That's
is.
interesting.
Yeah,
That was interesting.
it really is. So it's magnetized light. I think it's coming from that region. I think it's definitely something going on. I wouldn't put it past them to hide land there. I think it's the whole thing is about. I think they're hiding land. I think there's continents. I think outside of that, when you said about realms, because I'm definitely a realmian, I think there are realms.
Did you just coin a word?
Realmian, yeah. That's super close by. I really do think they're super close by. I think there's some sort of tech, maybe exchange going on with them. The others that they call, extraterrestrials meaning extra land, but not them greys, because obviously that's Hollywood. But there is some energetic things happening, entities and stuff, something more on a spiritual level, like spiritual abduction rather than physical abduction, concerning these others that are here quite close by. And I think the veil is getting thinner between these realms. I really do. There's the phenomena that are happening. There's Mandela effect, for example. There's aspects that I'd love to be able to believe that this shit's not true. But Dolly had braces.
Bob Barker
And that's
just
the fucking
died
end of it.
again. Bob Barker, The Price is Right.
Yeah.
He just died again, man.
Yeah, all right then. Well, I remember John Goodman dying, and then John Goodman's back in movies. I mean, this guy's a lot thinner, and he can actually act. I'm like, right, John Goodman's really changed because he was crap. But these research, I think the elites, they tell us in contemporary music, the Tavistock, for some reason, want to tell it, nothing seems to be hidden, Jason. It's like, everything's hidden in plain sight. It's like almost like they have to tell us. So they just tell us in contemporary music through Tavistock Institute that this place.
Well, I think another thing is at play. I mean, what you resist persists, and any movement that is quelled and it's obvious to the collective that the movement is being suppressed only increases its membership. People are always going with underdogs. They're always going to go against anti-establishment tenets. So I think we're at the point now in all the narratives where they're just letting it all free for all. And I've talked about this to my own community quite a bit because you guys know that in 2020 when everything really went down, I was releasing videos telling you what they were really doing with the trucker convoys, and that the surface of our world is less than 1% of the true real estate that's available. And that anybody can look at just a simple illustration is the cover of this book, maybe about 1/24 of an inch thick, the cover of this book. But if that was the crust of our world, we can just call it the first 7 or 8 miles of the surface of our world. You can build out, and you can build up to 1,080 feet. You might be able to build at 2,000 feet above any surface. Some of these high-rise buildings, you may be able to build down a little bit, but there's more real estate in the rhyolite and in the granite and in the diorite crust of our earth than there is on the surface. And it doesn't matter if it's a globe or if it's a flat plane or if it's an endless realm. And the perimeters of that realm are dictated by what humans believe the perimeters to be. It doesn't matter. What is obvious is that we can pancake civilizations on top of civilizations, and they can be so far apart that there would be no contact between them, and they would be underground. There's far more real estate going down than there is going out in any direction. So I've long been a tenant. I've long been a believer that we have underground civilizations that have been here and maintaining some type of infrastructure. And this is why, after all these resets, we have these people that just show up and just reintroduce society. This is why Mother Shipton could say what she said. It is here an illiterate herbalist. They called her a witch, but an illiterate herbalist actually prophesied that 100 years after a major world war where half the world would die, calling it World War II, that a dragon would appear in the sky, calling it the Phoenix. And that after that happened, that mankind would build his new civilizations and dynasties on former ocean beds, and that the world would be cleaned and all the cities of the world would be in a ruinous state. And a few years after this, clean humans will emerge from the underworld and teach those on the surface new knowledges, new spirituality. She said all this 500 years ago. So all prophecy is born by experience. And prophecy is very misunderstood. Prophecy is nothing but the science of a reset civilization, remembering things as they were in the past. So by the time that they're introduced into their literature, 1,000 years later, they're prophetic, but they're really historical statements. But because we're in this cycle, this cyclical history becomes prophetic. So that's Mother Shipton. I know you've talked about her on your channel.
Yeah, really guess. Some of these later prophecies concerning like motor cars, the internet. Some people don't give them credence, but the earlier ones, apparently there's something in it. Yeah, I think there's something in prophecy, though. I think that what I noticed early on when I went into this field is that all sort of civilizations seem to have some sort of obsession with cataclysm and the end of the world. For some reason, the Victorians were crazy about it. You know, that's what the whole spiritualist thing was. It's the information of, you know, pinpointing such events. Yeah. So as to prepare, and what I found is like a lot of the evidence in antiquity, like that I picked apart from these atlases that I went into, lead atlases, showed that there was a lot of underground happenings, underground civilizations. You know, like that Time Machine film, you know, there's an underground civilization with them, isn't it? The Mordor, and they feed on the people who live on the surface, you know. But like you said, it's like we haven't got a clue what's below our feet. I've always pondered, you know, we used to have like a murmuring sound when I was a kid, and I used to think, yeah, they're tunneling, you know, it sounded like tunneling machines.
Well, we have the scholars who have basically decoded the Greek concept of our cosmos. And according to the Greeks, the underworld wasn't a concept. It was a physical place. Not only you could visit, but you could be trapped in it. The underworld was also a physical place in the epics of the Sumerians, like when Inanna went into the underworld to pass the 12 gates to rescue her daughter. Same stories were found in Babylonian, the Assyrian epics, Hittite epics.
Or Dante's Inferno.
Dante's Inferno. Hell was a very physical
It's an upside down
place that you could
pyramid.
visit.
There's different levels to it.
Yeah, man. Dante Alighieri, right?
Yeah.
Dante Alighieri, something like that. But in the Greek concept, there was no concept here. It was a real place you could visit. And I'm going to tell you now, Asgard was the same thing. The ancient Norse mountain, and the Norse gods came down from the mountain, crossed the Rainbow Bridge, and they dwelt among men, and men thought them as gods and superheroes and all this. So we have the same concept, because you could keep going down past Midgard and you would end up in hell. It's the real name for the underworld in the Norse mythology. It's not spelled the Christian way, but it's pronounced hell, H-E-L. And it was a very physical place that you could visit. And it was next to another physical place in the underworld called Niflheim. It was the land of the Black Elves. These are the true denizens of the underworld. These Black Elves have been called by many things according to the frames of reference that belong to whatever the culture was calling them names, such as 14th, 15th, and 16th century. In Europe, they were known as trolls, bogies, and dwarves. But it's the same thing today. We call them ETs, little ET phone home, little big eyes. It's the exact same thing. We call them extraterrestrials, but they're from the underworld. They're not from
gremlins.
Yeah, I call them gremlins. What's that little gremlin's name? You put water on him, he turns into something demonic.
I've seen them fuckers.
Yeah. What's his name? Gizmo. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, they used to mess with machinery on one ship I was on.
Yeah.
I caught one in the corner of my eye. I seen the little fucker.
Gizmo turned into Gargantua. You put some water on it.
Yeah, messing with the engine. But the American troops in Europe during after the D-Day landings, when they were going to cross Europe, like literally thousands of reports of what they were calling gremlin attacks, where they were saying that there was these little grey monsters that were fucking up all their jeeps, and there's literally thousands of these reports in the second front in Europe. So might be something in it. Yeah. Interesting thing though, my friend contacted me the other day, right? And she flew to America, but she stopped over in Iceland, okay, on the way to Boston. And she said when she was there, she went for a little ride in this town, but it's all like, you know, no Tartarian buildings, it's all shacks and stuff. And she said the road was blocked off where there was road making plant machinery just left in the middle of the road. And she's like, what's with this? She said, oh, the workmen just packed up tools and walked off when the elves told them that they're not to build this road. She's like, sorry? She said, oh yeah, elves, everything's elves, yeah. And the elves came up to these builders and told them that they're not building this road. And they literally all dropped tools, stopped riding their vehicles and left them in the road, and they're not going back. They're not even going to go back. Somebody else will get that plant machinery because the elves have said this ain't happening. And the whole community just completely believe that elves are a real thing in this community in Iceland.
Yeah.
It's like that everyday thing. Oh, the elves did it. It's like, it's just a real thing there. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the fairies were real. You gotta understand, children got lost in the forest. Sometimes they would come back and they would say that they were dancing with the fairies, and then they would get punished. And the next day, the husbands would come back and say, "There's fairy rings." They're very superstitious. There's fairy rings in the wheat field, and then everybody would go out there and look, and there's a perfect ring. And the same thing as the agroglyphs and the crop circles of today. But because humans have become more and more sophisticated in their understandings or what they think they understand, they now call the fairies extraterrestrials. And because so many people believe in aliens and extraterrestrials from outside the construct actually coming in here, this gives the construct the ability to create these beautiful agroglyphs, these huge crop circles that are so intricate because people's imaginations are feeding into the extraterrestrial narrative. Therefore, the construct reflects that back as circumstance. But if humans weren't thinking on that level and they were just thinking simple, like underground fairies coming up, dancing with kids at night, playing music on flutes and pans, dancing in circles, then those agroglyphs would still only be circular, but they're not. Now they're taking on geometrical proportions that are mathematically astonishing.
All sorts.
Fibonacci, everything. Yeah. That's what's happening, guys. It's the collective doing that because we've bought into some bullshit about ETs and aliens and stuff. And everything's coming from the underworld. None of it's coming from space.
So we got one case in South Wales where I live in St Brides. David Wilcox actually mentioned in one of his books where there was a guy who had some music coming from the woods. He went there and he stepped into a fairy circle and boom, he was gone. The guy he was walking with was a police constable, Mr. PC Jones, and he couldn't come up with the whereabouts of his friend coming back from the boozer. And he got arrested on murder charges. You've done him in. And it was like literally like 6 months later or something, the whole community could hear this really pretty, beautiful music. And basically this guy got like literally popped back out of the fairy circle and just turns up into the village. He's like, yeah, I'm gone. Wow. Yeah. It's a famous narrative. My mother seen her. She was sitting in the gutter when she was a little girl, and she said a fairy come up from the drain. It was like a pretty little lady, she said, and it flew in front of her face and it went back on the drain. So she said she's seen a fairy, and I believe her. Why would she make that shit up? So I think all of these things exist, especially in the woods like we got outside.
Yeah, hell yeah, these woods here.
Wow.
Listen, I would not be surprised. I would not even be surprised if somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning comes screaming through the house talking about Sasquatches out there looking in the window.
I'm telling you,
this forest here is amazing. I wouldn't even be surprised.
Oh yeah, this is Sasquatch country. This is where you would see one, 100%. If he could handle the elevation.
Oh, he can handle it. Yeah.
Because it is pretty high up.
Bigfoot is the hide and seek champion. Ain't nobody gonna catch him, but you're gonna see him. Promise you that.
Right, let me just give these people a little recap on what's happening, because we got Campbell who's in the chat as well, and people are getting really excited that Campbell's going to be at Socal.
Autodidactic, what's up?
Yeah, 21st of October, guys. You get if you go down in the descriptions box below this video, you'll be able to find all the details. You'll be able to get tickets. I wouldn't miss this. Okay, this is going to be absolutely epic. You can meet myself, and you can come and take photographs, and we can hang out as well. And you can see Dave Knuckles there in the chat feed, who's kindly putting it up there. So thanks everyone who's given me what are these called, stickers or something?
Super stickers.
Stickers, yeah. They're funky. I like them. Thank you very much for them. So yeah, yesterday we went like on a really long road trip to Colorado, didn't we? To some white sands, and they were like, man. had to explain, guys, what the fuck they are doing all the way up there. And it's like, they said sand dunes. What they really meant is
Sand
massive
mountains.
high mountains.
Man.
Yeah. People were like tiny dots on the top. It was that big, and it takes hours to get up there, doesn't it? So like, yeah,
we're gonna do it.
gonna do it. We
We're
just
gonna
need
do
to do proper exploration.
No,
with
we got
backpacks.
to take backpacks,
Well,
water bottles,
yeah.
water bottles. We got to take not good hats,
Yeah,
and we're gonna take cameras and a drone because once you get to the top,
drone will be wicked.
you're
Snowshoes.
snowshoes. Yeah, to get up there. Once we get
Tennis
to the
table.
top, you're able to see 30 square miles of these white sand dunes. You can't see them from the perspective. We're just taking pictures of the side. We're gonna go to the top, but yeah, that's my mission. We might have to do that before you go back to Wales.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I've never seen anything like 30 square miles. It was of like Sahara Desert mountain dunes. It was like massively high, but like it was. I found it like really knackering to walk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm like, I'm proper fit. I can walk forever, man. But I'm telling you what, it's like 20 steps is like I've just run it. I'm like,
Yeah, I was all for it. Hey, I'm an optimist. I'm a silver liner. I was all for it.
I was all go as
we
well.
all
We're
got
doing
out the van and we hit that sand. Let me tell you something. 25 minutes later, that sand dune didn't look any closer.
It didn't.
It didn't look any closer.
It's fucking miles away.
Yeah.
You couldn't get the perspective because it was so. I didn't even know it was like a mountain till we got close to it. We sat on one of the dunes, and this thing was just valleys, like real valleys, made of sand, wasn't they?
Yeah, man. It was
People
crazy.
like on boards going down them, really funky. I love that.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that was an amazing day. That was, but it was a hell of a journey all the way up to. It was part of the Rocky Mountains, I believe, that mountain range there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like one of the arms off of it. So that was really funky. So yeah, we got a lot more to come though, guys. We got the meet, as I said, Socal coming up. We got a meet in Santa Fe. Okay, now you'll find out the details and the address for that. It also on the website that's down below in the descriptions box. It's just an informal meet, you know. Come and hang out, say hi, and that is on when is it? The night? Is it the night? No, that's Sunday, which is
Today's Thursday, I believe.
no, not
Thursday
in
or
Britain.
Friday?
It's not. It's Friday.
Today.
Oh yeah.
Today's Thursday.
Yeah,
Today's Thursday. Well, it's gonna be Sunday.
Sunday.
Here in the States, it'll be on Sunday. So
Yeah, Sunday in Santa Fe, and that's like an amazing Tartarian architecture. Apparently, I'm going to check that out. I have looked on Google, and it looks quite amazing. But that's a lower elevation, so be able to breathe a bit better. So I'm like, next time I'm going to bring an oxygen supply. Like, bring a freaking oxygen bottle up.
I'm pretty sure your breathing problems have a lot to do with something else too.
No, it's not that at all. Although I am in New Mexico, where, like, you know,
It's legal here.
marijuana is legal here, guys. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
I
we
went
got
to-
whole stores of it, people buying it. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, man, I went and bought Skywalker. Yeah, OG Skywalker. It's aptly named. Okay, for working on the fucking
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're on a continued road trip. Going to be lots more exciting things, but that is a brilliant thing. That shot of David Icke. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah,
That
yeah,
is
yeah.
awesome and positive as well, you know,
Mhm.
and you can see that he's taking you as a serious academic, you know, rather than.
Well, I never claimed to be an academic, just an out of the box.
If actually, by definition, if you look it up on Google, if you've done the research and wrote a book, it makes you an academic.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
I'm cool
you've
with that.
done what, 16 books?
Oh, I've written 27.
You've
books.
written 27.
Yeah, but I've got
You're a
17
prolific fucking
published.
author. Yeah, you're up there with David Icke. He's like, he's wrote about that many, I think.
Well, his books are much bigger than mine.
Yeah,
My only big book is 520 pages, Chronicon. It's huge.
that's a lot.
But all my other books are smaller than that.
All right, fair enough.
David Icke, that man writes bricks.
I know. I've tried to. When I read The Lion, is it The Lion Sleeps No More? Yeah. That was a bit of a.
I believe he wrote the World Trade, Alice in Wonderland and the World Trade Center disaster.
Yeah, he did.
Children of the Matrix. Those are
Children of the Matrix is
those are
good.
two Icke books I've read.
Yeah.
I've read others. I just can't remember.
The Lion Sleeps No More. It's like he says Rothschild maybe about 15,000 times in that book.
Yeah.
So it's like on a bed, and I'm just hearing the word Rothschild. Fucking hell, brainwashing us, repetitiveness.
Yeah. Got to give the man his props. I mean, he literally, with William Cooper, started the truther movement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he did. Listen, when I first seen him on Wogan, right, I was a kid, cross-legged in front of the telly in the 1970s, and he was on there, and they were just, like this knobhead who was interviewing him. He's like the Bill Carson of Britain. He's just sucked. Just tried ridiculing him. But David, I did say, like, well, I'm Jesus, but what he really meant is we've all got the Christ. He was trying to explain to him, you know, that he was trying to empower people, but it was way above everyone's heads in the 1970s. Roll 9 years on, yeah, and this Terry Wogan, he was forced to acknowledge him as a serious author and academic, and he invited him on the same show, and this time things went completely differently. He was not taking a piss out of no one. He just owned it. And a lot of people, you know, after that second interview on British television, because he was a famous footballer, you see, David Icke, he was a goalkeeper.
He was?
Yeah, and then he was a presenter on British sports television. That's how he got, you know, managed to elaborate himself so well. Yeah, he was a famous goalkeeper, and then he went as a sports pundit for years. And then everyone says, like, in the newspapers, front page, David Icke's gone nuts. Because he was way famous before he was famous, you know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, he was way famous. I knew David Icke. I just
know that his start into the truther community was a lot like mine. You know what? I need to rephrase that. Mine was a lot like his in that there was a great amount of resistance. And I mean, I've had a lot of channels just attack the hell out of me over and over and over. I know you've experienced some of that too.
Sure. Yeah,
hell, you got somebody stealing all your stuff and then reposting it.
I guess also, like, you know, that's the thing with British. So I don't even give a shit really. Once the ego's out there, it's not about that, is it? You know, and it's like fucking we're all a long time dead, so I don't really worry about shit like that. I'm just thinking about like the greater message, the greater goal. You know, the message here is so important, and it can just empower so many people and put this world right. You know, the information here shared by myself and Jason, the research. So empowering, guys, you know, and you just know that if everyone learns this information, because of the nature of consciousness, we can fucking fix this place. Healing, yeah, everyone treating one another decently, and everyone kind, and all of them weird shit things that they got going on, like poverty and that. What we think in the past won't even be a word. Just take it out of fucking word, you know. So that's where we're going here, you know, guys. This is like a bigger goal. So as for things like, you know, people plagiarizing, I can live with that.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I recently did a book review of somebody who took a lot of my material and republished it, and then tried to act like a lot of that was his ideas and all that.
Yeah, I get it.
I did a full book review on that and then just let it go. He's tried to email me. He's contacted every member of my team. He's been trying to. I'm not giving him a hand. I just let it go. Move around.
Doesn't matter.
Kicked him out the door.
Okay.
Done.
Not bothered about things like that. So yeah. Keeping YouTube fucking float. YouTube's like not that good at the moment. It's like what you find with YouTube, guys, is they keep slotting a load of bullshit narratives in, and then there's gone 20,000 fucking truthers. They're off on a weird one, you know. There's so many to pick, and they've been throwing these weird curveballs in, like Q and this and that and the other for years, guys, you know. And
you don't believe in Q?
No, don't fuck. What? Cyber Messiah?
No, are you talking about you mean Trump's not going to call the Galactic Federation in to come help everybody?
No, Asgardia or Space Force are not going to save us, guys, I'm afraid. You've had it. Yeah? Asgardia. You've got our national anthem ready.
Yeah, man. That's crazy, dude. You know what? I'm so upset by hearing that.
No, man. As soon as I read about that, I just thought, like, I can't believe people have put their faith in some bullshit like that on the internet. God. And there's no person there you can look at me in the eye on anything, you know. Yeah. It's just like, put your trust in that. Fuck no. But like, you know, it's all designed, guys, you know, to keep you, you know, thinking about bullshit, negative energy things, maybe, because most of the things in the world seem to be connected to negative energy, except for things in the truth movement, because we're in club fuck it, we don't do that shit. Yeah, we're too bad for that. Yeah, so never mind. That don't even matter anymore.
Well, I am on board absolutely with the fact that we are more than anything that could happen to us.
Yeah.
And I am literally balls to the wall with content, and I don't give a damn. And I know my brother here does not give a damn
Yep.
about the resistance. I don't care about the intelligence communities that keep trying to infiltrate Archaix.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn about all the enemies and all the trolls and all the truth. I have made the statement, and I have asserted over and over, and I'm still standing by it, that I am moving forward with an impetus that comes from a power that is not my own. So I'm not worried about the resistance. And I have felt that same energy from my brother here, or we wouldn't be friends. We wouldn't be doing these presentations together if we weren't resonating on the same frequency.
Yeah,
Maybe coming from different perspectives, but I'm telling you now, this awareness and this awakening that is happening worldwide, it's unstoppable. I'm not worried about all these little setbacks and all these people that, you know what, all that's posturing, Still today, not one individual who has been called out on my channel has stepped up to the plate for a debate. And that tells me a lot. That tells me, like I've already accused people of, you're being handed a script. You're a puppet. You're a popular face, but you don't even know the material that you put out. Therefore, you're attached to an agenda. Therefore, so when I say these things, and I include my brother here, I know for a fact that there is something going on in this world that is far greater than the individual voices that are claiming this, such as myself, such as Martin. And even if we were removed from the equation, I promise you the Oversoul will put people in our place to continue that torch. So I'm not worried about it at all. That's why I like Martin here, because he likes to say fuck it too. And that's what I'm about. I'm just not that verbal about it on my own channel. I'm gonna do it on his.
It's bigger than us, brother. It's much bigger than us. You do get that sense that there's something really important going on and really big, and got to get it right,
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I say it all the time, we are more than we suppose ourselves to be. The problem is the construct is going to daily try to remind you that you're not. Simple
That's
as that.
so true. That's so true.
That's it.
So let's have a look. So we got 755 people here, all buzzing and bringing a love and energy. I do really appreciate everyone in chat. Yeah, there's always just a massive energy in my chat feed, and all the good people. I see Holistic Media. I want to thank you for that. Beautiful, lovely India Wilson. Thank you for my lovely video that you knocked me up. It was a really, really good surprise, and I've mirrored it and put it up on my channel. So thanks for that. That was an awesome video. Jason, she put you in it, India Wilson. That one is spliced up and made all really well.
Oh,
produced.
yeah. I don't know who that was, but I
It's
appreciate
India.
it.
She's Holistic Media. She does all like cool.
Oh, that's
shit,
Holistic Media?
Yeah, man.
She's
She does,
all
like,
I
cool
gave
shit.
her a blue wrench a long time ago, I believe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if I didn't, she needs to get one because I'm very familiar with her work. She's
Yeah.
always reposting.
Yeah, she's done a lot for Flat Earth British and
Holistic Media is a moderator, right? Yeah.
Yeah, she's like the glue that helps things together. She's done a wonderful thing.
WHOL,
Yeah,
Holistic.
yeah. So we got an errand here, 138 number 9. Okay, what was that? Yeah, about them going to the moon.
Don't even go there.
What about it?
Well, I'm not even, there's schools out there, isn't there? There's the crater Earth theory and this and that. And I find it very.
Who said something about the moon, man? Why,
Somebody
man?
in the
Why
chat
you gotta do
feed.
that in the chat, man?
Yeah.
Where's the comment at? Where's the comment at?
What if, right?
I'm calling this person out. Where's the comment at? This person finna get it. Where they at, man? Talking about the moon.
Would that work?
What?
Oh no, I was just wondering if the moon was like a one-time connected to the rest of us and it's been hit off.
Listen, if you believe that they went to the store and got a bunch of Reynolds wrap around and put it on a go-kart and sent that thing in a cylinder all the way to the moon, it threw a vacuum through about 4 miles of what's called the Van Allen belts, where the Russians basically fried and microwaved every mouse, monkey, and dog they sent through. But we sent astronauts through there to go ride on a tinfoil golf cart.
Yeah, but they didn't notice it because they didn't know it existed at the time.
Yeah, and you believe all that. You're a special species of something special. That's what you are.
Yeah.
And you believe they've lost the technology to do that, but all of a sudden India found it and sent somebody to the moon.
Like Tom Patet said,
Yeah,
we would reconstruct the technology to take us smooth, but I'm afraid we destroyed it.
You don't need to
We
be
take
on
it
a
back in
truther channel.
We got
at
there
all.
in a nanosecond, he says, and then like India,
But Elon sent a freaking car to.
India, Uber Foods to the moon,
Yeah.
sorted. Yeah.
Probably believe that Elon was in a car, a Tesla, or orbiting the Earth, driving his car, which is a scene straight out of a movie that Dawn and I just watched the other day from the 80s called Heavy Metal, where they're in the same car riding in the atmosphere. Elon Musk took that. It's a joke. It's basically a message to the collective, you're a bunch of dumbasses. That's what that is.
It is, guys. It is. It's supposed to be still up there orbiting forever. There it is. There it goes. That's a Tesla. Yeah. Up there with all the other shit flying fucking around.
Yeah. I see there you got some real works of art in your chat, just like I do.
Oh yeah. It's part and parcel. So what's also actually saying? I get my interwebs via something Eaton's car. Oh, I can't even fucking the chat feed was too quick for me actually.
Yeah, man, the chat's fast.
Yeah, I should have put slow mode on actually, but that slow mode actually is really, really bad for my OCD. Like I'm like, hurry fucking up already. I want to say something. I'm like that.
But it doesn't restrict you, does it?
It does if you watch a chat feed and it's got the slow-mo on. You've got to like wait until a little wheel goes round before you can actually say shit. And it's like by the time that the conversation's gone on to something else and it's not really relevant anymore. It's like, oh shit, I missed my moment.
Yeah.
I had a brilliant joke then.
To go on a more serious note, I'm very impressed with a lot of the footage people have shown when they blow up, like when SpaceX sends a rocket up or when NASA sends a rocket up. I'm very impressed. We are told that when a different stage of rockets begins, it sends this flare out. This is what we've been told since the 60s of what we're seeing, and people went with it. We were just programmed to believe. But now that we see otherwise, now that we see these rockets are hitting a wall, actually a field, they're hitting a field of moisture. And what you're seeing is the impact. Rockets hit that. Remember that flare out?
Yeah, it just looks exactly like it's going through a water medium.
Okay, if you're underwater, if you're about 200 feet underwater and you are filming the surface, watching somebody on a jet ski go over, it looks just like
or a
comet
speedboat
tail.
if you're underwater.
It looks just like a comet tail. It looks just like a NASA footage of a rocket of the stage of the next stage of rockets being ejected and ignited. It looks identical. I saw the videos side by side.
I got them videos
Of a dude on a jet ski being filmed. Looked identical. If NASA would have told you that was a rocket, that's what you would have saw. It's amazing, the similarities. We're looking at a physical object passing through a watery field. It's crazy. That's what's happening. That's high in the sky.
All of this money that NASA is soaking up is 18 million a day. So they're doing something with the money because they're certainly not doing shit in space.
They tell you they're doing stuff up there, but they're building down there.
Yeah, exactly where I was going. Yeah. I was thinking sort of out on the extremities, around the ice wall or in Antarctica. Gardening could be that. Why think that they would?
Well, we've already proven that plants actually grow better in a dark light than they do
Exactly.
in
You can
sunlight.
use them underground. Somebody asked that in the chat earlier. How would you survive underground without sunlight? And I said,
Shoot, you can
it's
ask
solar
anybody
lights.
in Texas who has a hydroponics kid trying to hide from the
Wicked.
police. They'll tell you real quick shit grows in the dark real fast.
Yes. No shit. Oh, it is a red light. And, if you had sodium lighting, or hydroponics or this aquaponics, there's a lot of ways to grow food underground. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the technology
You
is
said
there.
food? You said food?
Food,
I'm
weed.
getting kind of hungry too.
Yeah, and I am too. So that we're going to wrap this up. The 770 of you. We really appreciate you guys. Thanks for. We're in a fantastic place here in Angel Fire High, like more than 7,000 foot above sea level. It's like the highest I've ever been. I don't even know what's going on anymore. In a beautiful house with Jason and Dawn,
Yeah.
Cheryl and Maurice, Tony and Mike.
Hold on, Maurice
Kes.
wasn't here when we did introductions.
No, Maurice, come
No,
over
that's
here, bro.
true. That's
Fucking
so
hell. Maurice, living legend, guys. You nearly beat us going up the
Hey, I want
the
to.
sandpit mountain.
We need to introduce you guys to the new face of Archaix security.
Yeah, man. He's behind us.
Maurice.
Maurice.
Your ass.
Say hi, say hi, Maurice.
Hey there, hey everybody. I just like these two guys.
Oh, we love
I
you too,
respect them
Maurice.
both too.
Thank you,
You're
brother.
welcome. You
Maurice
both-
drove from Florida to be with us.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's incredible distance.
Nice
Wow.
meeting y'all.
So later on tonight, we're gonna be all together on the back veranda. We're gonna be looking at this brilliant canopy of stars.
Can't wait.
I'm gonna be looking through my binoculars. He's probably gonna be looking through a cloud of smoke. But we're both gonna be looking at the sky.
Yeah, I am gonna be. Yeah, 'cause it's epic and it's legal. Yeah. Yes. God, I'm gonna love America, guys.
I'm typing in my bye-bye. Love you guys.
Yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much. That's epic live feed. Make sure to share this out if you did like or enjoy the show. Make sure to give it a little thumbs up. It doesn't matter anyway. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good, guys.
How do you do the little heart icon? I see people put people
In the corner, there's
In the
usually a
corner,
thing
yeah.
to do a little like hearty thing these days. See them all flying up, but that's because you've got your keypad in the way.
Oh,
You're
no.
doing keypads emojis.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit that game over.
They're evil.
There
They're
it is.
evil emojis.
My
You know
first
that?
emoji.
Yeah! Good game over.
Jason turn emojis. Yes. Choo choo. Thanks, Donna. Thanks, Donna Marie. And thanks, Campbell. Thanks, everybody, for being in chat. Thanks, Theodore. Thanks, everybody. Stay epic, above all, in Club Fuck It, okay? No complaining. Okay, that's not allowed here. Don't be ill or die on my watch. All right, then make sure that don't happen. All right, we'll see you soon. See you later, Jason. Fun Mitch. Wiggly. Okay.
Wait, wait.
Yeah.